Hey there, boys and girls. So what we're going to do is have a little look at how to make an exclusive OR gate and an exclusive NOR gate. So these are just like slightly more complicated examples of the things we looked at in Logic Gates Part 1. So how an XOR gate should work is an exclusive OR. So what that means is that it's only one or the other that should give an output of ON, not both. So we want to ignore the both option. See that? So off over there. And just to prove this works, we've got this one on, but this one off. So that's, there we go, that's on. And this one on, but this one off, that's on. And then if we turn both of them on, it's off. And we'll turn both of them off, and it should still be off like that. So it's basically an OR gate, but instead of having one or the other or both, we're just not going to have both. So just to show you how this thing works, we actually use a thing called a Karnaugh map. You might not have heard that mentioned before in other Minecraft tutorials on Logic Gates. We use Karnaugh maps to build this, and that's Karnaugh, Karnaugh maps. And basically what that does is that provides us a way of quite easily using the building blocks that we learned last time to make some pretty complicated logic circuits. So if you want to have a look up Karnaugh maps, that's going to be pretty useful in determining how you can make some of this stuff yourself. So to make an XOR gate, what we do is we take each one of these inputs and we take one feed of each one, redstone signal there, and we feed it through an NOR gate. Okay, so be careful that I don't get the wrong one. So inverting the inputs, I'm talking complete rubbish. This is a NAND gate. Sorry, that's complete rubbish there. So we're inverting the inputs of an OR gate, which makes a NAND gate. So that's this thing here. Taking each input, put it through a NAND gate, and we're also going to take each input, so that bridge there, and we're going to take this one over here, and we're going to take the output of each one of those things, all of them together. So this is an OR gate there. I know it doesn't look like it, but that thing there, right there, that connection there is an OR gate between the two inputs. And we're going to take the output of that OR gate and the output of that NAND gate, and we're going to feed that into an AND gate. So the only difference between this thing here and this thing here is the inverted output. So that's a NAND gate, this makes an AND gate. So we're going to take the output of this NAND gate and the output of this OR gate, we're going to put them through an AND gate, and then that gives us our redstone lamp output over here. Now just to explain that a little bit more carefully in case you didn't catch all that, the output of this NAND gate should be anything except AND. So that means we've got a 0, meaning off, for 1 and 1, meaning both of these on, and anything else gives us an output of 1. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So we've got 0 for both of them on, and 1 for anything else. Now over here in the OR gate, we're going to have a 1 for anything except both off. So we have a 0, 0 over here, we're going to have a 0 here, but any other combination, we're going to have 1. So that means that this thing is going to AND together the two results. Okay, so just keeping that in mind, if we have, say, one of these off, so we say this guy off, right, and without obviously looking at the redstone lamp, we know what's going to happen, but just to explain it a little bit more, we've got a 0 and a 1 here. Now a 0 and a 1 going through a NAND gate will give us an output of 1, an output of ON. Now if we put 0 and 1 through an OR gate, it will also give us an output of 1. Now an AND gate, if we put both together, then we're going to get an output of 1. Okay? 1 and 1 is obviously going to be 1. Now a 1 and a 0, or a 0 and a 1, ANDed together will give us a 0, because you need both to be on to get an output of ON for an AND gate. That and that. So unless we don't have both of these on, this thing's going to be on. So if we do the other thing, we'll just put both of those on. So both on for a NAND gate is obviously going to be off because we don't want both on for a NAND gate. So this is going to give a 0. For an OR gate, it's going to give a 1 and a 0, and together is a 0. So that's how we get on our exclusive OR effect. So that's how we get rid of the AND condition. Now if we delete one of them, we obviously know what happens. Exactly the same thing happens to the other one. Doesn't really make much difference which one. And then obviously for both of them off, a NAND gate will give an ON for both off, but an OR gate won't. So that's how we get rid of that particular condition, by ANDing the two things together. So we get those two 0, 1 and 1, 0 effects when we do those two end conditions, the both off and the both on. Then we AND those together, and then we get this output here. So yeah, that's how you build an exclusive OR gate, and the only thing you need to do is make an exclusive NOR gate, which is just the exact opposite, is to miss out the inverter at the end. So make this a NAND gate instead of an AND gate, and you've got to get this thing over there. So an exclusive NOR will be both on or both off, will give you an on over there. So both on, got a nice on redstone lamp. I'm going to turn both of those off, still on, turn one of them on, it goes off, turn the other one on, it goes off. So yeah, that's how you do an exclusive NOR and an exclusive OR gate. So you might not be able to think of the use of it right now, but it is pretty damn useful when you get into doing things like proper computers and such like. So yeah, that's Logic Gates Part 2. Hasta luego.